How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, what did I get up to?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another new episode of How Many, the only podcast on the internet that counts. I am your host, Jesse Jackson, and joining me today is Junior, Scott, Bob, and Gary. So what fascinating topic do we have available tonight, Junior?
Well, kind of in the same vein as the Chips episode we had last year, which became a very popular episode amongst some of our friends on the P1CR. I thought we could revisit the food category and talk about how many great breakfast cereals there have been. So, did a little research, came up with a list of 50 cereals ranked from 50 to 1 that we could review and determine how many of them are actually good tasting cereals that we would actually enjoy on a Saturday morning watching cartoons.
This is about what we would eat or what we agree is a truly great cereal.
I think it's a combination of both, and then the consensus on how many other people agree with it being a good cereal will dictate whether we count it or not. Obviously, we also have exemptions, so people, if they don't get the cereal they want on the list, they can always use an exemption to get it in. All right, so of the 50, let's get some guesses out. Bob, since you are the food connoisseur of our little group here, you've once before circumnavigated an entire vending machine. What's the number that you're thinking that we will count?
I will say 31.
Scott, what about you?
I'm going to shoot low, and I'm going to say 15.
Whoa, 15. Jesse?
I am going to go 34.
34. So right now you have the over. I am going to go next so I can give Gary the opportunity to take the over here. But I am going to go in between Bob and Scott, and I'm going to say 25. Gary?
I'm going to go with 37.
37.
Okay.
I mean, breakfast cereals, there's a lot of really good ones. There may be only 3 or 4 that you personally really, really like or ask for, but I think we'll acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of ones that we don't necessarily eat that are really good.
Yeah, and we could judge this also on how iconic the cereal is. So just because none of us like it, that doesn't necessarily mean that we would exclude it if we know that it is a popular cereal.
You're really seeing the differences between skinny people like Scott that only like 1 or 2 things, and a fat guy like me who would probably eat all 50.
That's what I'm saying. I'm almost tempted to pick 50 because I'm like, if I'm at a hotel and it's got the boxes of cereal, right? Like, I'm going to put it on and eat it.
All right, so starting at number 50, we have shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat. And nobody else.
Is anybody a fan of shredded wheat?
So the plain shredded wheat, I know what you're talking about, and that's a no for me.
I mean, if I had like a lot of bananas and I could throw some fruit in there
And
and
it's just
raisins.
crunch.
Yeah, and then it's crunch, I would go for it. But no, I would say no.
Yeah, I would agree. Shredded wheat is too plain tasting.
I could eat it dry, like hiking, but no, I'm not going to pour milk over it and eat that unless.
Yes,
I mean,
Scott has taken me out hiking, and I'm afraid I'm going to die in the wilderness somewhere.
And I'm also thinking because of our mandatory Ted Lasso reference, right? When he throws the box in there, and that one huge...
That one giant shredded wheat is in there.
Yeah.
To me, it's almost like eating a stack of hay or something.
Yes.
Just, ugh. So, Bob, are you a no also?
Yeah, I'm a no.
How about grape nuts?
Post grape nut cereal. You know when you've got it good.
Yes, you know when you got it good.
Yes.
Now, I am a fan of grape nuts, and almost all these I will dress up with. I really love fresh fruit in my cereal. Another thing I like to do is to make oatmeal and then mix in grape nuts with it to give it more crunch. But I have eaten bowls of grape nuts plenty of times.
Grape nuts are one of my absolute favorites. And I would take them and put them in the bowl, and I would put some sugar on top of them, pour the milk till it just barely covers the cereal. Put that in the refrigerator and go take a shower. Come back about 15 minutes later, and the milk has just started to get into the nuggets. And at this point, they're still crunchy, but they're not nearly like they were when you first poured the bowl. So they're somewhere between soggy and crunchy.
That's a solid
and that
plan.
to me is perfect.
Cue the drop for the crunch enhancer.
Oh, the crunch enhancer? Yeah, it's a non-nutritive cereal varnish. It's semi-permeable. It's not osmotic. What it does is it coats and seals the flake, prevents the milk from penetrating it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful product.
I like it.
I'm no on it. I've had grape nuts before. I think my mother once bought grape nuts as a try. It's like, let's give this a try. I just couldn't do it. As an adult, I could probably, like, again, use it as a trail food or something like that.
So a trail mix with grape nuts and shredded wheat mixed together.
God's going to
Hey.
die of cotton mouth.
Bob,
I'm a yes.
we have enough to get it in.
That's what she said.
Now, this one and a couple of others on this list are kind of very similar, but I'm probably going to say yes to each of them individually. The first one is Boo Berry.
Hello, my name is Boo. Let me finish. Boo Berry. My ghostly good blueberry flavored cereal, Boo Berry, is part of this complete breakfast.
Very similar to the rest of the Monster series of cereals with Frankenberry and Count Chocula. I'm pretty much a fan of anything with marshmallows, so I'm going to say yes to Boo Berry.
Yes.
I did not like anything but Count Chocula. I mean,
Ditto.
if I had to eat it, as we talked about, I probably would, but this is not one I would vote yes for.
Boo Berry is the sparest of the monster cereals.
Yeah, but if I were on a hike, I would probably
You need a trail mix.
Scott's is everything with fiber. He's going to on the trail 7 times.
Colon blow.
Which should be an honorable mention, Colon Blow.
Colon blow. Sounds delicious.
All right, so no to Boo Berry. How about Frankenberry? Is
Yes
that a
to
no also?
Frankenberry.
I'm a
Yes.
Literally the same
Well,
thing.
Frankenberry is strawberry, Boo Berry is blueberry, but basically the same thing.
No.
Frankenstein is a better mascot for cereal than a ghost.
So, Bob, you're a yes.
Yeah, I'm a
Gary, you're a
yes.
yes. And I am a yes to Frankenberry. So
Okay.
we have 3. How about Wheaties, the breakfast of champions?
Pure and simple toasted wheat. Now go get your Wheaties. That's what this girl eats. Watch out, big boys.
Oh.
No.
Because
And they get so soggy so fast.
they get soggy so fast, way faster than Frosted Flakes.
Now, get your face on a Wheaties box. That is an iconic statement, but as far as we're judging the cereal, I'm going to vote no.
I wish I had thought about this ahead of time because there's a funny Bruce Jenner joke in here somewhere. And
Well,
I'm
so I was gonna say, are
There's-
you saying that those flakes transition really quickly from soggy?
All right, so no from Scott, no from Jesse. Gary, Bob, you guys are no.
yeah, those are no.
How about Nuttin' Honey?
I thought that
What
was
you got going on there? Nuttin' Honey?
What you eating, babe?
Nothing, honey.
Oh, you can tell me.
I would vote no. I was not a fan of that cereal.
Yeah. No.
Good ad campaign.
nothing.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
the Chappelle,
we shock
Chappelle
you,
version
shock you.
It shocks you. It shocks you.
of
I
that.
would say yes to that, but I know I'm alone.
All right, so no to Nuttin' Honey. How about Special K? Sounds like a breakdancer.
It's a drug.
No,
Or a
especially
DJ.
Great commercials, right? Part of a balanced breakfast. Then they'd show
Yes.
orange juice and eggs.
Light, crisp, Special K. The well-balanced breakfast that keeps you in shape.
Like, no,
Even
you
as a
don't,
little kid, I knew how ridiculous that was.
right?
So Jesse, you're a no. Scott, does this fit into your trail mix portfolio?
Because Special K was basically Wheaties
Yeah.
light. It's just a
It's
smaller
just generic
flake of
flakes.
Yeah, I would agree.
The way you lost weight eating Special K was you'd pour it and get about 3 bites into it and dump it in the trash.
All right, so
Only we
we
had the
will say
internet.
no. How about Waffle Crisps? Anybody familiar with Waffle Crisp?
Never heard of it.
I've never even seen or heard of
This has
Waffle
got to be a
Crisp.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch ripoff.
Do they make a version that's blue waffle crisps?
I'm not familiar with Waffle Crisp. so-
Nobody's familiar with Blue Waffle Crisp, but now they're all Googling it.
now they're all Googling it. How about, boy, this is a bit cereal, Rice Krispies Treats cereal. So not just Rice
Oh.
Krispies, but Rice Krispies made into the marshmallow treats
They're actually-
as a
like-
cereal.
That's cereal inception.
Look, if you like Rice Krispies treats, these things are actually really good.
It sounds delicious.
It sounds delicious. I don't remember eating them, but I would definitely.
Most people take Rice Krispies and put something on them to make them sweet anyway.
So they're doing the heavy lifting for us by adding the marshmallow in ahead of time.
That's how much they care about us.
So Gary, you're a yes. Scott?
I'm a no.
Jesse?
I'm going to say yes. I'm interested.
Bob?
I say no.
You know what? I'm going to say yes. It just sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So we will say yes to the Rice Krispie treats. How about Alphabets?
Let's have a good breakfast with both alphabets. A-B-C-D-E-F-G. Alphabets, my alphabets are tasty.
Where you can pretty much play Scrabble as you're eating your
Yeah,
cereal.
but they were like Cheerios. They had no flavor at
No,
all.
I disagree. Alphabets have the marshmallows in them, don't they?
No.
I think there was
Oh,
a
no,
version
no.
that had marshmallows,
Oh,
but I think the
do that?
base version of Alphabets did not.
And is there
not-
frosted alphabets,
They
or
were,
is
they
it?
were very lightly.
I actually, they're sweeter than plain Cheerios.
Alphabets was like my mom, and she would buy Alphabets. It always felt like, wow, someone didn't get paid.
But think of the educational value you're getting out of eating those. All right, so is anybody a yes for
Oh.
Alphabets?
I think you're going to get a bunch of no's.
All right, so we'll
Yeah.
say no to Alphabets. Now, how about the greatness of Honeycomb? Honeycomb Hideout.
Yes.
Honeycomb's big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not
not
small.
small.
No.
No.
Big taste, honeycomb, big taste.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah. It's not small. No.
Honeycomb's got a big honey taste, big crunch, or a big bite.
We ate plenty of bowls of honeycomb, and I would not want that right now. I think I just ate too many of them.
I
It is
actually would
not
love
something.
to have a bowl of it right now.
Yeah.
I thought honeycombs were delicious. I'm a
It's
yes.
in for the jingle alone.
Yeah.
I still eat the honeycomb.
All right. I think
agree.
we're all yeses on honeycomb.
Yeah, I
then,
think
right,
I'm
for the
going
most
to change
part.
my vote to yes.
How about Cookie Crisps?
Cookie Cook, this scheme to get Cookie Crisp isn't taking off.
Who can blame me? It looks like little chocolate chip cookies.
But Cookie Crisp cereal stays crispy in milk.
If you like cookies, you'll love Cookie Crisp.
Which are basically
Yes.
chocolate chip cookies
Oh, chip
in a bowl.
cookies.
Yes, I
low
ate those
risk
as a
and-
kid.
I'm a big
Never
fan
did.
of Cookie Crisps too. I would say yes.
It's a good bit.
I'll tell you what I've honestly done. I've put a bag of Famous Amos cookies into a bowl and poured milk on it and ate it like it was.
I think the box used to have like a cop and robber guy too, right?
Hamburglar.
Yeah, the Hamburglar is stealing the Cookie Crisps. Now, speaking of as generic and bland as possible, Corn Flakes.
If you're pouring Kellogg's Corn Flakes, you've earned a special place. So sit down to a familiar face.
Yeah, very generic.
Wasn't that the food that was supposed to change America?
Yes.
Well, I think it was
George
one of the
Kellogg.
first packaged cereals. We have cornflakes in the pantry right now because Linda will use it to do breading and other things. But man, you got to throw a lot of fruit
Yeah.
and a lot of sugar. on
As a
top of
kid, I would put honey all over them.
But then they stick to the inside of the bag when you're on a hike.
Yeah, you basically have to do a lot of dressing up to get through a actual bowl.
Yeah,
of
well, you have to
Corn
turn them
Flakes.
into something else. Like corn flakes are the basis for Frosted Flakes.
Are we no's then on
That's
Corn
I would
Flakes?
say no.
I'm a
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, me too. French Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
French Toast. Now, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a different brand, but it's basically the same thing.
I
See,
like.
I'm struggling with this. I mean, the answer would be yes to both because they're both good.
Yeah,
So you're a
Tim-
yes, Gary. Scott?
Yes.
No. I didn't like it, my cereal to be that tricked up.
Jesse?
Oh yeah, we ate this. Yes.
Bob?
No, not French Toast Crunch.
2 no's.
Just to not Paddington the stats, because I know we're going to count some of the other ones that are very similar to this later. I am going to say no.
Man, I'm looking at the package right
that's
now.
the
We
key.
ate that.
I'm telling you right now, if you put sugar and cinnamon on something, I'm probably going to.
So you're pretty much a standing yes.
Yeah.
How about honey bunches of oats with almonds?
Oats in honey roasted crunchy bunches and crispy flakes. With almonds
New honey bunches of oats. You're gonna love it. A bunch.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Had
is
me
one of my
until the
favorites.
almonds.
No, I love any of the cereals that throw in pecans or
Yep.
nuts or anything. I love that.
I do like Honey Bunches of Oat by itself, but not with the add-in nut.
I'm with you
Yeah.
there.
I promise
but-
not to nut
Now,
in your
Scott.
cereal, Bob.
Put it on the bag and take on your
Don't be teabagging my cereal.
It's not milk.
Honey Bunches of Oats have the oats in it, and it's got the clusters, which are basically granola. Got the almond slivers in it. Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
Didn't the Almond Brothers create
Yes.
this cereal? All right, so we're going to say yes to Honey Bunches of Oats. How about Rice Chex? Not the Riz Chex.
Not the Riz checks.
Dad and I have to go to the club for dinner with the Rice Checks.
Riz checks.
Oh, Riz Checks.
As a Rice Chex mix, yes, but not as cereal.
as Jesse's saying that, it makes me think if we're talking strictly sit down on Saturday morning and eat a bowl of cereal, probably not. But like Chex, like you said, have so many more things that people do with them, making the Chex mix and things like that. Otherwise, they're kind of boring.
Yeah, it is kind of a multi-purpose cereal that you can use it to do other things. But the way I'm going to vote is, would I want to sit down and eat a bowl of this cereal with milk? And if I'm doing that, then I would say no to the Riz Chex.
Same.
No to Rice Chex.
Bob, are you no?
Yeah, I'll say no.
How about Puffins? Anybody familiar with Puffins?
With the little tiny pen.
Bird.
Wasn't that a Mary Poppins song?
Feed the birds. Feed the birds.
Puffins a bag.
Feed the birds.
Puffins a bag.
I'm not familiar with Puffins.
Looks like this is a new brand. They're all with a penguin in front of it. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, if there's no nostalgia attached to it, then I'm probably
Never
going
heard
to be
of
a
it.
no. Now, we're getting into a category that I'm going to be saying a lot of yeses to. Peanut Butter Captain Crunch.
I love peanut butter crunch. If you love it so much, why don't you marry it? Maybe I will.
I now pronounce you man and cereal.
Now, I will say up front, I am a fan of any peanut butter flavored cereals. Peanut Butter Crunch is probably, to me, the best of the Captain Crunch. So I'm going to be a yes.
Berries, but I'm with you. Yes.
I loved peanut butter Captain Crunch, but you talk about having a headache, right? That Captain Crunch is a cereal that it stays crunchy in milk.
All right, so Gary, you're a yes. I am definitely a yes. Bob?
No, I'm out on peanut butter for.
Yeah, I'm out on the peanut butter flavor in my cereal.
Don't worry.
I'll
Look,
whip
we'll
it
get
out.
at least 2 more of these peanut butters through because peanut butter and milk are 2 of the best flavor combinations.
In fact, when I make oatmeal, I put peanut butter in it and mix it and eat it.
That's a solid move. How about Honey Smacks?
Tastes so sweet. You're hot when you eat. Take a
Yes.
That's the one with the frog, right?
Kellogg's Honey Smacks has a frog, according to
Yeah.
Mr. Google. So, yes.
I was a fan of Honey Smacks.
If it was in there, once again, I'd eat it. So, yeah, I'll go with it.
So, Jesse, you're a yes. Scott?
Yeah.
I'm a no. I was out on all the sugar smacks. It just didn't taste all that amazing.
All right, so you're a no, Scott. Gary, it sounds like you're a yes because you're whispering into the microphone.
So good.
Come to me.
So
You're
good.
sexting the cereal right now.
Having full release into the.
All right, so Bob.
I'm gonna say no.
You know what? I like Honey Smacks, so I'm going to be the deciding yes on this one. Getting back to the Captain Crunch series, Captain Crunch
Slam.
berries.
Wasn't
I
it
think, Gary,
Slam?
you said you were a fan of the berries.
Yes.
There grow the sweetest, juiciest berries, but they're still not crunch berries. No, not till Crunch Power locks their sweet berry taste in, so it's tough to sog out.
Jesse.
I'm a yes.
Scott.
I'm a no because the berry thing didn't never do it for me.
Bob.
Yes.
So I think we have got a yes.
Oh,
How about
God.
Crispex? Anybody familiar?
Isn't that off-brand checks?
No,
I'd say no.
Crispix is different. It's corn on one side and rice on the other. So
Ah.
it's both rice Chex and corn Chex.
Oh wow.
I did consume a box of that one.
Now was that invented by Crispix Glover?
Gary, it sounds like you're a yes.
No, I'm not a yes. I just know what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's just like Chex. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm going to put a bunch of sugar or honey or something on it to make it sweet before I eat it.
It seems like having that combo would make it the perfect base for Scott's trail mix.
I ate this stuff once as I was a kid. There was something about the corn side that just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Scott. When your family was making you eat the healthy stuff, did they bring home Roman meal bread?
No, we always had Wonder, so that was.
Oh, see, no, my dad would go
Vivaldi.
through those kicks, and we would get really healthy cereals. And when he was doing that, then we would always end up with Roman meal bread too.
All right, so it sounds like we're all no's then for Crispex. How about Golden Crisp?
Can't get enough of Super Golden Crisp. Can't get enough of Super Golden Crisp.
It's got the crunch with punch.
And more honey.
If that's the one with the bear, I'm in.
Yes,
Yes.
that is.
It is the one with the bear. All right, so
And
we'll
he
say
was-
yes. Now for the next one, if we had Mikey here, he would say yes. Life cereal.
Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Cinnamon Life, yes. Generic Life, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to vote for Life. Great commercial, though.
He likes it.
He likes it.
I like the cinnamon life, but I
But
don't
regular life,
I don't remember consuming the regular life.
it's basically cornflakes.
I know Bob was going to say no to this because he hates life.
I do. I hate
I
life.
like
Hate my life.
Life likes me.
Speaking of generic cereals again, regular Cheerios.
When you fuel up in the morning with a Cheerios breakfast,
It'll really keep you digging, mateys.
Cheerios!
Terrible. One of the worst cereals ever.
No.
Yeah, it requires a lot of dress up to get through a bowl
I
of
mean,
regular Cheerios.
pretty much don't you just throw them into a baggie and hand them to a toddler? That's
Yeah, they're basically a child pacifier.
A trail mix starter kit for
It's a
top.
trail
It is, and you know, you throw in bananas or raisins
to the grocery
and, you know,
store.
So
Regular Cheerios, there had to be like at least a quarter of an inch of sugar at the bottom of the bowl. And whenever you took a bite, you scooped from down there.
And then you're basically scooping sand off the bottom of an ocean.
Not only were they flavorless, they had an aftertaste. That's like, how can you have an aftertaste?
when you had no flavor.
Here's a pro tip, Scott. Confectioner sugar melts really easily in milk.
Oh,
Why don't you stir the sugar into the milk first and then pour the sugar milk on the
Are you going to trust me or Bob?
Why don't you feed the mayonnaise,
mayonnaise
to the tuna?
tuna fish. Exactly.
That is the cereal version of Feed the Mayonnaise.
Hold it, wait a minute, Chuck. Take live tuna fish and feed them mayonnaise. Oh, this is good. Call Starkist.
This is Gary telling Bob to shut
up.
Hello, this is Chuck to remind Bill to shut up. Bill to shut up.
All right, how about Kix cereal?
Kids like Kix because of its crisp corn crunch. Moms like Kix because it's low in sugar. Kix, kid-tested, mother-approved.
No, Kix was horrible.
Wasn't Kix a spare hair metal band?
Spare band for a spare cereal.
Kix.
All right, so we will say no to Kix. Now, another peanut butter flavor that is an automatic yes for me. Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs.
It's Reese's for breakfast.
Delicious.
I did not
I would
like
say
those
yes,
as
but-
much. For some reason, them being the puffs, it did not taste as good as the Captain Crunch peanut butter.
The dry peanut butter just didn't work right. I mean, that's kind of like having one of those jelly beans that's popcorn flavor or something.
All right,
Yeah.
so Jesse, Scott, your nose. Bob?
No.
You're out on anything peanut butter.
Anything
So-
sweet peanut butter.
I think only me and Gary are
Right.
yeses, so
No.
we'll have to say no. How about tricks? Because they're not just for kids.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
Kids don't clown around with tricks.
We ate so much Tricks. Tricks are for kids.
And they get the
Silly
boost from the ad
rabbit.
campaign too.
I guess I ate so much. I have no interest in that right now. I want to vote no.
I was not a huge fan of tricks either.
It's the number one
Why?
cereal brand favored by prostitutes, oddly enough.
The thing about tricks that bothered me was that they're like Fruit Loops, all the different colors and everything, but they were really plain tasting. Like
Yes.
they didn't have all the different fruit flavors. I'm out on tricks.
I can remember when Mom bought me Tricks. The rule was I couldn't have another cereal until one box of cereal was gone. And I can remember taking Tricks and like when nobody was around, like taking handfuls and throw them out into the yard for the birds. I got to get something different.
That's not a ringing endorsement. I don't think
No.
they're going to put that in their ad campaigns.
No, I don't think
Throw
so.
them out to
Worse
the
is he got in
birds.
trouble because the birds wouldn't eat it.
All right, how about corn pops?
Kellogg's Corn Pops is part of this complete breakfast.
I gotta have my pops.
Yes.
I think
There
I
is a
remember
yes.
liking corn.
That is the
Pops.
hominy of cereals.
3-part hominy.
I actually like
I
them a
remember
lot.
liking corn pops also.
Yeah, I like corn pops too.
Never ate them.
Bob?
Out.
I think we have 3, so I'm going to say yes. All right, so here's a variant of Special K. Special K red berries.
Better than Special K because of the fruit.
But it's dehydrated fruit. It turns into this bubble gummy. It's terrible.
All right, so
Yeah.
a couple of no's.
Whenever you get fruit in your cereal, you know you're getting apple, right? None of the other fruits can be dried and put into a cereal that'll last like that. So it's always apple.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
So is that a no then from you, Scott?
Yeah,
on
it's a
Special
no
K
from
red
me.
berries. All right, so we will say no to the second Special K on the list. Here is another base version that can be used for other things, but by itself, Rice Krispies.
Snap, it's a snappy is sound to do. You gotta get crackin' when crackle comes through. There's no stopping once pop is poppin'. Snap, crackle, pop, talking just to you.
Yes.
Because Snap, Crackle, Pop, Rice Krispies. And I would listen. You could actually hear the pop. So I'm going to go.
All right. So Bob, Jesse, or yeses. Scott?
Not unless I had a ton of sugar on them.
Yeah. They require a hefty amount of sugar. And then again, you will go digging in the bottom of the bowl. So Gary?
I liked them growing up quite a bit, and I ate them plain a lot.
We're going to say yes. I'm going to say yes also because it can be used to make Rice Krispie treats, which are delicious.
Hey, Scott, Special K Red uses freeze-dried strawberries.
It shocks you. It shocks you. It's actually freeze-dried strawberries?
Big Strawberry's not going to let you push them around. Big Berry.
Next up, Apple Jacks.
A is for apple, J is for Jack. Appley sweet, Apple Jacks, cinnamon crunchy, fun to eat. A super breakfast treat.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, Scott is a big no. You hate Apple Jacks, Scott?
Man, there was something about the Apple Jacks. It turned me off so badly.
There's no way Scott was ever a stoner. You say no to all the sweet cereals, man.
Dude, we haven't hit the sweet cereals yet that I really, really will.
We're still in the category of cereal that Scott fed to the birds outside. We haven't gotten to the ones that are for human consumption.
Apple Jacks was not my favorite, but I certainly would pour it into a bowl and eat it.
All right, so we're going to say yes. How about another apple? Apple Cinnamon Cheerios.
Which are essentially Cheerio Apple Jacks, right?
Sounds
pretty much
good, but I've never had them, so I'll say no.
Jesse, Scott, are you familiar?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had that, the big green box. Yeah, I've had that. Those are good.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. I'm going to say no.
Oh,
Bob's a no.
I'm voting honestly, not trying to D-pad the stats.
He's sabotaging himself. Now, how about Basic 4? Anybody familiar with Basic 4?
I remember the box, like it had in quadrants.
I remember the name.
I don't think I've ever
don't know
eaten
what it
those.
was.
I've definitely never had this, but as a kid, there's no way I would have eaten it. Looking at the box right now, I'd eat that. But
Yeah, I'm looking at the box too. I don't remember having it, but it's got Basic 4 multigrain cereal with fruit and almonds.
Yeah.
I would eat it, but no.
I have to say no because I've never had it.
I've never had it either, so just because we don't have enough experience with it, I think we're
Yes.
going to have to say no. Back to another base great cereal. How about Captain Crunch?
Wow, a whole mountain of golden sweet Captain Crunch cereal. That could be a crunchy part of a balanced breakfast.
That mountain's named after me.
What's it called?
Oh, what else? Mount Crunchmore.
Yeah.
Ate plenty of
Iconic,
those
right?
in my day. Yes.
Yeah, so
Captain
that's a
Crunch is
definite yes.
still one of those that my wife will pick up for me every now and then. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely
And
yes.
the roof of my mouth pays.
You're basically eating shards of glass, tearing up the inside of your mouth.
Little
but
granite,
delicious. All right, how about another Cheerios variant, Honey Nut Cheerios?
Hey, B, no way a little dude like you is gonna change my ways.
It's time you were tempted with the taste of nuts and honey.
That's better than a body slam.
It's a honey of a nut. It's Honey Nut Cheerios.
In our pantry now and is on the rotation. Yes.
Quite possibly the best of the Cheerios. I
Yes,
think.
it's the only Cheerio I'll eat.
I don't know if I've ever had the Honey Nut Cheerio.
You don't have to add a lot of extra sugar to it.
No, it's good standalone. Give it a try, Scott.
Yeah, very good. I'm
Okay.
in on that.
All right, next up, Frosted Mini Wheats.
I love the honest wheat taste of Kellogg's Mini Wheats. But the frosting side agrees with the little kid in me.
To the wholesome wheat, I happily say, I do. But the little girl in me loves the frosting too.
The Frosted Mini Wheats, I think, are the best of the shredded wheats.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
count that.
I
Yeah.
have eaten them, but I'm not going to say I'd go and pick them up off the shelf.
They would definitely make a good addition to your trail mix.
Well, it was one of those things when you are having stomach issues, your mom would, here, eat this to try to move things along.
All right, how about Cocoa Krispies, which is basically Rice Krispies but chocolate flavored?
That Cocoa Krispies chocolatey taste sends you to this chocolatey place, to a land full of chocolate that goes snap, crackle, pop-a-lot.
Yes.
Yes.
It made the milk chocolate milk.
Yes.
So you get to eat all the cereal, and then you got to drink what's left is chocolate milk.
Now,
It was
I will say up
chocolatey.
front, I'm not the biggest fan of chocolate flavored cereals, but I do like Cocoa Krispies.
I love chocolate, but like Junior just said, chocolate cereals are not my favorite cereals, but I do like chocolate.
Krispies.
What's the Flintstones version of that?
See, I think Cocoa Pebbles are better than Cocoa Krispies.
See, and I
Cocoa
do the other
Pebbles.
one.
I would agree with you.
I like Cocoa Crisp better.
Well, Cocoa Pebbles could possibly be coming up a little bit later on this list. All right, next up, Fruit Loops.
Come follow my nose. Got a nose big as Texas. It's always nose. Whoa, Kellogg's Fruit Loop cereal with natural orange, lemon, and cherry flavors and a full day supply of vitamin C. Part of this complete breakfast.
Yes.
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 Basic goodness.
So I need to hijack the podcast for a moment.
Breaking
My
news.
sister, when we were little, I'm like maybe 6, 7, because she's 2, and she had a Toucan Sam, which was a stuffed Fruit Loop doll, and she called it Fruit Loop. And you know how on stuffed animals, the stuffing gets off a little bit? And so the very tip of the nose of her stuffed Toucan Sam, there was no stuffing left on it. And so I'm like, that really needs to go off. So I should cut that. And you know what would be good way to cut it is to put it into the fan. So the blade will just take that. I took it and the fan.
So it's like you threw a real bird into the fan. There's just nothing but stuffing and feathers everywhere.
And so Rita's like, what are you doing with my Toucan Sam? It's okay, Rita. I'm just going to fix it. I'm going to fix it.
I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it.
And all of a sudden, there's foam and thing everywhere, just scattered on our bedroom. And my mom's coming in screaming at me, and Rita is bawling. And I'm trying to, and, I'm 7. I can't explain to my mom why that little tip bothered me. My ass got spanked so bad. So I guess 10 years ago, I found a stuffed Toucan Sam and sent it to her for Christmas and said, I'm sorry. And she called me just laughing out loud. So in honor of the Toucan Sam that died with the box fan, I say yes on Fruit Loops.
I thought you were going to say no because of all of the Toucan PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you had a Fruit Loop.
All right, so it sounds like we're yeses all around. How about Honey Kicks?
Is
I
that
remember
just
Kicks, but not honey Kicks.
Yeah, I think it's just Kicks, but honey flavored.
It's probably better.
It probably is, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it either.
Box, I've definitely never had that.
Bob, are you out?
Yeah, out.
How about another fruit cereal, Raisin Bran?
Little juice and golden flakes of bran. They're turning back again for 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Yes.
And
So Bob, you're yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in my cabinet now.
I will eat Raisin Bran. I will not eat raisins on their own. When I was a kid, I went through a week-long period of where I would eat nothing but raisins. I was at my grandparents' house, and I ate raisins for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Literally had a plate of raisins. I also went through a beets phase.
Oh, Dwight
Schrute?
Beets are the worst. People love beets. Nobody likes beets. Everyone loves beets. Nobody likes beets, Dwight. Why don't you grow something that everybody does like? You should grow candy.
But I can remember walking across my grandparents' yard and viciously puking up all those raisins. And at that point, I never ate another box of raisins again, but I will eat the Raisin Bran.
Hey, Bob, you know why Scott stopped eating the beets?
No, why?
Because every time he tried to sneak some, he got caught red-handed.
Now we'll get back into another chocolate-flavored cereal. How about Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa Puffs! Yahoo! I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs!
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'm
ate
cuckoo
those.
for Cocoa Puffs, yeah.
Cuckoo
I won't
for
eat them now,
Cocoa
but I ate them.
Puffs.
I did not like them as much as I did. I didn't like the puffs. If I
Right.
had to, I'd eat them.
The puffs seemed to hold the chocolate better than the rice did.
It made the milk chocolate that way. though.
Yes, but the puffs actually held the chocolate.
It's a feature, not a bug.
You know what, Scott? I'm with you. I think when they're in puff form, they tend to not turn as soggy as quickly as
Right.
opposed to like Cocoa Pebbles, where they're so tiny that it's a matter of seconds before things start getting sog factor. All right, so we will say yes to Cocoa Puffs. Another peanut butter variant. How about peanut butter puffins?
Oh,
No.
Puffin's a bag.
No.
Yeah, so we'll say no to puffins then. Too new. Not enough nostalgia factor. How about Fruity Pebbles?
My Fruity Pebbles are gone! How fruitous! Barney! Uh-oh, the gig is up. Post Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereal. Part of this nutritious breakfast. Yappa dabba delicious.
Yes. Yes, I ate those.
Yes.
Not a
Quite
fan.
possibly, they're going to be for me a top 3, maybe number 1 all time, depending on my mood.
Plus, the combination of the cereal with the Flintstones, I think, kind of makes it iconic too, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have cared who was on
Elmo
that
was
box.
hot.
If I have a box of those, I'll probably blow through the entire box in one breath.
All right, so Gary, you're a yes. I am definitely a yes. Bob?
Yeah, I'm a yes.
We have 3, but Jesse, it
Yes.
sounded like
And
you
I'm
were
a
a no.
Yeah, I'm a no.
Yeah, I'm in.
Now, this one I think is, for me, a top 3. The greatness of Golden Grams.
That golden honey and graham cracker taste of Golden Grams. It's a part of your complete breakfast. Those Golden Grams.
Yes, maybe number
Ooh.
1 all time.
Yes.
I ate a lot of those, man.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm a huge Golden Grams fan.
I think I've since graduated from them, but I did eat a lot of them back in the day.
How about Honey Bunches of Oats Honey Roasted?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this time there is no almonds. I know that
Stop
will
saying
make Bob
almonds.
happy.
So there's regular honey bunches of oats. There's honey bunches of oats that are honey roasted. I don't know what
There probably isn't much difference there.
There's a normal one, and then there's the almond one that you said earlier,
And then a frosted one,
and
right?
there's a frost.
Yeah.
Then it's probably the base version. So I think that one's a yes.
This is
Now,
damn-
we get to the last of the monster series here. The greatness of Count Chocula.
Good morning. May I suggest Count Chocula with
Big chocolatey marshmallows.
so monstrously big they're monster mellows.
Yes.
Love the
Oh,
chocolate
yes.
marshmallows.
It's pretty much unanimous.
I loved the Count Chocula. In fact, I have a Count Chocula bobblehead in my classroom.
Nice.
These are going to be the best of the best, starting with the best of the marshmallow cereals, the greatness of Lucky Charms.
Always have to be Lucky Charms, the crunchy old cereal with a rainbow of marshmallow surprises. Pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers, and blue diamonds.
Frosted Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
They're magically delicious. Yes.
So,
Oh,
Jesse,
they are-
you're a yes. Scott,
They are wonderful.
Gary.
Yes.
I think Bob is
I'm a
the
yes.
only
Yeah, I'm
marshmallow
not a fan.
Anybody know
dissenter.
what Bob's doing right now?
Not a fan.
He's too busy on Twitter to be.
No,
discussing
I'm not a
this series.
fan.
The only thing else on the screen is your forehead because you're doing something.
No, I'm tracking the cereals. I'm looking at cereal.
Well, maybe don't feed the napkin to the dog.
Do the show for the P1.
Would you try to focus a little bit?
I'm grabbing the dog. Would you try to focus? You're talking, not me.
I'm not whistling on the air for
Well,
my
maybe
dog.
don't let him eat the napkin. What? We went over this in the meeting. You do the show for the P1s, not for me.
Obviously.
Lucky Charms is a yes. Now, Frosted Flakes, the
Yes.
superior of any of cornflake-based cereals.
Show 'em you're a tiger. Show 'em what you can do.
Go, Tiger.
The taste of Tony's Frosted Flakes. They rhyme. Brings out the tiger in you.
And you. They're great.
Iconic
Yes.
Tony the Tiger. They're great.
They're great.
Yes.
Top 3.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
in on the Frosted Flakes.
Absolutely. Number 2, Cocoa Pebbles.
I'm a chocolate space cadet. Life support system down to 0. Cocoa. Feeling spacey.
Have some of my Cocoa Pebbles. Very chocolatey. Bonnie!
Uh-oh, time for the Pebbles space walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
One year for Christmas, I want to say it was like 5th or 6th grade, they had this gift appear under the tree. It was a box, I'd say like 18 inches tall and about 2 foot deep and about 2 foot wide. It was just this big ass box. I pick it up, you know how you shake your presents? It sounded like one of those rainmakers. And a Christmas morning, I opened that thing and it was a case. I mean, like 24 boxes of Cocoa Pebbles.
Wow. Oh, how
And
cool.
I was eating that for like 6 months.
Did they institute the
Sorry,
rule that you don't eat any more cereal until all of that is gone?
They did make the exception for me because it's like, okay.
Number 1, the last cereal on the list, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon
Yes.
Crunch.
Bacon homemade taste.
Better leave some for the kids.
In the
Cinnamon
Yes.
Crunch.
It's a
I don't
good-
know if
it's
that
a
would have
good-
been number 1 for me, but yes, I absolutely love that cereal.
Yeah, it wouldn't have
It
been
wouldn't
number
have
one,
been
for
me
me.
either.
I can see where so many people would put it in like the top 5 that ends up being one.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not my number 1, but I definitely, it's fantastic. So yes.
All right, our list is complete. While I tally up the numbers, just really quick,
What?
your favorite cereal, each of you. Bob, what's your favorite cereal?
I was just thinking about that. It's almost like a 3-way tie. Golden Grams, Raisin Bran, and Frosted Flakes.
Mine is either Post or Kellogg's Raisin Bran with clusters. Like you get the flakes, you get the crunch, the little granola, and the raisins. That's my favorite.
The one that I consume the most now is honeycomb, and the Lucky Charms and the Golden Grams.
Mine really depends on my mood. If I were to go to the store and buy cereal right now, it'd probably be honeycombs, just because Scott's been saying that. But just depending on my mood, I'm either going to buy Fruit Loops or I'm going to buy Frosted Flakes or Fruity Pebbles. If you make me pick one, I'd say Frosted Flakes.
One of the things we didn't talk about is Honey Smacks used to be Sugar Smacks. They had to change the name because, well, it needs to be more healthy.
And then for me, it would probably be the Peanut Butter Captain Crunch, and Golden Grams would be way up there too, and Lucky Charms and Frosted Flakes. I have tallied up the yeses, and we have a total of 27 yeses, which means I actually won because I said 25. So I was the closest without going over. Got you way undersold.
Collusion.
Because all I see are lies and collusion. This whole season is null and void. Volanoid.
Both episodes we recorded tonight ended at 27.
So they're members of the 27 Club as well.
Yeah, they are, along with Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
So Count Chocula OD'd, and Captain Crunch choked on his own vomit.
That would have been one of the. No, that's one of the peanut butter ones, Bob.
Now, did your parents ever buy the little variety pack?
Hell
yeah, and
no.
then there's always a couple of them that like, oh, these are, we don't want to eat these.
My parents wouldn't buy those because they were too expensive. My
Sure.
parents bought cereal that came in bags, big.
Yes.
The bags, not boxes, bags.
That's what I eat now. The variety pack would always have like Frosted Flake. You know, there'd be like 3 or 4 good flavors, and then there'd be like wood and liver. Or something.
And the great days of there's toys in the cereal, so you're trying to dig through that, and then sending off box tops to try to win something. Like the Archies had at the box of the cereal, they had a record that you could cut out and play on a record player.
Get grooving, kids. There's a free Archie record on Post Alphabets and Honeycomb right in the back of the box. Listen to the hit Jingle Jangle.
I remember my sister doing that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for letting me go down this nostalgia trip down to Saturday mornings, watching cartoons and eating cereal.
There was nothing better than Saturday morning cartoons and a big old bowl of cereal.
All right, Jesse, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can they?
Well, if you want to talk to me about cereal or anything at all, really, I'm at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter.
All right, Bob?
I am at Lukewarm Tallboy on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, and Gary?
You can find me at travel_cowboy on Twitter or on the cereal out at Kroger and Addison in about
picking up a box of honeycombs. Scott?
I'm at Scott_ on the Twitter. I think I've got all of like 22 followers.
Scott is making an open plea to ask for additional followers. So please find Scott.
And we'll make that at Scott_Matula. We'll go ahead and give him the last name this time.
So you can reach me at Metzgen_Jr., or you can reach the show, which is the best way to get a hold of us and give us feedback on our terrible cereal choices, at How Many Podcast on Twitter, howmanypodcasts@gmail.com on email. Reach out to us on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Lots of different ways to get a hold of us. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
I love eating cereal when I'm watching my cartoons. Ooh, I love Fruity Pebbles when I'm watching my cartoons. Ooh, I love Super Sugar Crisp when I'm watching my cartoons. Ooh, I love Count Chocula when I'm watching my cartoons.